It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews.
There's going to be much higher expectations, sense of awareness of what we bring to the table.
Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Throws, ends it, yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker here on the Full Court Press. Thanks for tuning in, joining us on a Wednesday. Some big news today for the state of Utah. Well, sort of.
It's a hopeful thing.
Yes.
I know there are some people that are completely dismissing this as, this is literally nothing. And other people are hyped to the moon and back. I'm a little closer to the latter of those two things. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Now it's not like officially happening, but at least they are taking the necessary steps to put themselves in the proper position to make it happen. Now, what we're talking about, if you haven't heard yet, is that we're
getting another Subway in North Logan.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. The Larry H. Miller Company, it's teamed up with a few other people. They've put together a coalition calling itself Big League Utah, and it includes Dale Murphy, a few other notable people. The Miller family kind of got out of the they got out of the Jazz. They're still involved with the Jazz. They're not the majority holders anymore. They still own the Bees, but they are in the process of trying to bring Major League Baseball to the state of Utah. So they held a press conference today. There's about a 100-acre site near downtown. Rocky Mountain Power, I guess it's been their quote-unquote district, and it's ready for redevelopment. Somehow they're involved with this as well, but it's on the west side of the freeway, but still pretty much right in the heart of Salt Lake City. And redevelopment, hotels, shops, restaurants, and a new Major League Baseball ballpark.
And some smokestacks.
Yeah, the smokestacks will remain. They're like right in the view, right down in the center field.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing is like you look at, when people list off iconic views in sporting venues, you were like almost guaranteed to get one of the Utah football schools in there because you got the view in the background. BYU's, they've all got the mountains in the background. And the concept art they've put up includes the mountains in the background, but they're obscured by these smokestacks. It's like buildings can be iffy enough if they're like kind of obscuring the background, but like industrial level smokestacks?
Yes.
Like, nah.
3 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 is like, okay, whatever, it's just 1. 3, nah.
So that's a little bit of a drawback, sure. But it's interesting because how many months ago was it? Ryan Smith, in his group, kind of made some public comments about bringing another major professional sports franchise to the state. And at that moment, everybody thought, Ryan Smith is either going to do Major League Baseball or the NHL. And the response was heavily in favor of Major League Baseball over NHL. But then not that long ago, there were some reports that Smith had been meeting with NHL people. and they were very pleased with their meeting with him. They were impressed with how he was running the Utah Jazz and the efforts that they were doing there. And so it seemed like, oh, well, maybe baseball's not really going to be his thing. And now this developed and came about and was announced today. Apparently, this has been something that's been in the works for quite some time. They held a press conference earlier today, and the Smith Group, or excuse me, the Larry H. Miller Group, saying that they met with Commissioner Rob Manfred a year ago to explore the possibility of bringing a team to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and maybe that's why Ryan Smith kind of went toward the NHL, is because obviously he'll have been talking with the Millers and was probably aware of their intentions of trying to get an MLB team here, and he probably just didn't want to battle him. He's not going to fight him over it.
No.
Or maybe he'll even work with him and be like a minority owner or something. So maybe he'll focus on bringing an NHL team here, and the Millers and that whole group can bring a baseball team here. And that would be interesting because, you're already, the area supports really well 2 professional franchises, but doubling that in the space of a couple of years that's a tricky thing to do.
Yeah, it might get oversaturated too quickly because Real Salt Lake and Utah Jazz, their seasons don't really overlap. There's a little bit of overlap, but really by and large, they don't.
You get like a month of overlap, maybe 2 months with the playoffs.
Right. They offset each other nicely. But now if you're going to throw in 2 other professional franchises that will directly compete with both of those, it might make it a little bit more difficult. But look, even in Utah's down year, when you look at the overall record this year for the Utah Jazz, they missed the playoffs, but they still filled Vivint Arena and still had great fan support. Now, I think there are a lot of reasons for that, but it's clear that there's a pretty strong fan base here for the Utah Jazz. But the question is, with if you bring an NHL franchise in here, does that occupy the same space? And then, how does that affect your pricing and your scheduling and a lot of other things that are going on right at the same time?
Yeah, it does feel like it would be difficult to balance. I think with Major League Baseball, that does fit the best. Because with NHL, because the NHL season overlaps kind of with the NBA, right?
It almost exactly over.
Exactly? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it started later than the NBA or not.
I think it starts a little bit before, but they're getting into their playoffs right now as well.
Okay, so that'd be hard because with baseball, they come in and they're occupying the same time with Major League Soccer. But I think those two can coexist. And I don't know if there's a ton of overlap between soccer fans and baseball fans. There's some. But, Real Salt Lake has a pretty, solid fan base. They're going to go to those games. They've not been very good for several years. And yet every time I've gone, they filled up that stadium pretty well. I was there this last weekend, and they've won 6 out of their last, 26 or 36 games, something like that. They've been really bad. That stadium was still mostly full. So, in Major League Baseball, I'm sure there's a bunch of people who'd be willing to go to that game. So that would work. But with the Jazz and the NHL, the Jazz would be taking away from the NHL. They don't have that established base. And this isn't as much of a hockey state. I don't think there's a single Division I hockey school in Utah.
No, that's a great point too. Is that there's club hockey, and has its certain level of popularity, but
one of the club hockey teams went defunct.
Yeah, that's true. So, and there is a minor league hockey team here. I mean, they do they do a preseason hockey game usually in the state. Well, not every year, but they've done several of these. I think they just announced another one would be coming here. But yeah, you don't have a lot of high school hockey teams even those are blended and kind of on the club level. But you do have established baseball programs at a lot of high schools, and in very good baseball programs at BYU. And Utah just announced that they're going to build a new baseball stadium on their campus. So there's some good, rich baseball traditions in the state of Utah, with a history of sending multiple athletes from the state to the professional leagues, from the major leagues, from the state of Utah. There aren't very many from Utah who go on to play in the NHL.
I don't know if there are any, just because you don't go to the NHL from the club hockey. Like, it's just so incredibly rare, and I don't know if there's a single instance of it happening from the state of Utah. Maybe there is. I couldn't say it. Don't think it's happened at Utah State, and I can't say if it's happened with Utah or BYU or UVU. So it's just, I think it would be harder for an NHL team to get off the ground here. There is some level of support that you could pull off, but it just, I don't know. This isn't a hockey state.
Yeah, I agree. It's a harder play. A couple of texts coming through on the topic. Feel free to chime in. How are you reacting today over the news that there is a group, a consortium of investors and high-profile people trying to find a way to bring Major League Baseball to the state of Utah? And it looks like they're very serious about this. The artist renderings, 3D models, and everything. The works about where it would be located and how it would look. 435-339-0321. 4781 texting in saying, Jason, I think you need to correct your statement. RSL made the playoff last year, and the year before made the conference finals. They haven't been great, but definitely haven't been bad.
Yes, I'm overreacting to the most recent games because I guess I say they've been bad in the same way we said the Tim Durgay years were bad, like below standard. So I'm overreacting to some of the more recent games because they kind of ended last season not as good, and then this year has just felt disastrous at times. So I mean, you are right. They've actually consistently make the playoffs. I know somebody I saw on Twitter said they've been bad for 10 years, which isn't the case. For me, I'm just looking at the last season and a half. And even then, I think 4781 is more right. I kind of stand corrected a little bit there.
A couple of the texts, 9315. We'll get to the Stephen Ashworth news in a little bit, but he has a proposed name. And that would be interesting. I'd love to get your proposed names for this baseball team.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to get into because I was thinking about it. I've seen even proposed logos already. So that'll be interesting. And the thing is, if a baseball team comes here, I'm going all in on becoming a fan.
Oh, yeah.
I'll finally start following Major League Baseball and all that because, I've struggled to follow teams in baseball or NHL. And even the WNBA, because there's not a local team. I've latched on to the New England Patriots, but I've not ever really felt attached to any out-of-state team.
In the NFL.
Yeah, or in any sport.
Or in any sport. Oh, I see.
So with the NFL, I managed to somehow latch on to the Patriots. I'm still not even 100% sure how I became a fan. There's no reason I should have been a Patriots fan, but I am. And then I'm a Jazz fan, Real Salt Lake. That's about all I got. Because there's nothing else local that I want to follow. Do I just pick? I think if you ask me, I say normally right now I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, but that's because when I was in Little League, we wore MLB, kind of shirt. Our jerseys would be like an MLB team.
Right.
And I was the Giants for a couple of years. So that's the team that I followed. Just this weird connection. But I never really latched onto the Giants either. So, which maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing I've not latched onto any MLB team. Otherwise, I'd be like you and follow the Cubs.
You're a
free
free agent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, it was if you wanted to watch baseball when I was a kid, it was either the Braves on TBS or the Cubs on WGN.
Yeah. See, my dad, he went with the Braves because he would watch the Braves. That's the one he ended up following.
Yeah. Yeah, around here, that's usually what you'd find. People, two real options if you wanted to watch baseball. No, that was it. A couple more texts. Oh, I guess I should say the name proposals from 9315. Call them the brine shrimp or the Wasatch Killers.
I don't know if Killers is the greatest one to use
I don't know about
in this day
Killers.
and age.
You
You say like the Wasatch Wasps or something.
There you go. And they need to call the stadium the Sandlot. Oh, yes.
People are going to try and integrate the Sandlot somehow into the team. I don't think it's going to happen on any official. And there's some people that'll probably try and informally call it the Sandlot, but I don't think it'll ever catch on, especially because, stadium naming
Copyright
rights
issues
will stamp that out.
Well, yeah.
We're lucky.
Money will dictate that.
We're lucky that we still get to call America First or Field, whatever they call that thing now. They're lucky we still get to call it the Riot because it's in the song. Here at the Riot. Don't you know that song?
I don't know.
The whole it's like I don't know if it's like a battle hymn or a fight song.
It's for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, for Real Salt Lake, you sing at the beginning of the game whenever they score a goal. Do any of our listeners know it? Like I can sing the whole thing. It's only like half a verse long, but.
It's probably okay there.
Because it was Rio Tinto, that's why you call it the Riot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But now it's America First Field, which they
Really?
named that. They named that and didn't
called
think,
Rio Tinto Stadium.
Yeah. So, but we get to call it the Riot still because it was in the fight song instead of calling it the AF. Here at the AF.
6391. Sorry if you already talked about this, but are you team smokestack or team no smokestack?
There are some people who do like it. I think we've both given our opinion. I don't know. There are ways in which a smokestack can be aesthetic. It just, especially with, if they're kind of more crunched up on the one side, I wouldn't mind. The problem is they're blocking the mountains.
Right, and it dials up right down center field.
Yeah.
From home plate to
they
second base.
If they were scrunched to the left or right, it'd probably be okay. But you've got this beautiful, because the stadium ends up kind of coming down so that there's more, better view in the middle. And that's right where you'd stare straight at the mountains, but there's 3 ugly smokestacks there. So I just doesn't work.
I think I'm team no smokestack.
Yeah, I'm no smokestack.
I saw somebody propose that they paint them to look like baseball bats.
Yeah?
Maybe that could.
I saw somebody say we should rename them after, I think one said we could name after Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from the Bible. Then somebody said Shad Stack, Me Stack, and Abednego Smoke or something like that. Which I thought was hilarious. So
that's great.
We'll see if they can do anything fun with the smokestacks.
2305. After observing the stadium photo picture, I think the first thing that comes to mind for a new tank name is team name is the Salt Lake Smokestackers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna become. It seems like it's a point of contention. I thought everyone was just going to hate him, but there are people that seem to like them, and I'm like, okay. It's probably a good thing that a lot of people like them, because otherwise somebody would have to go to a lot of effort to try and get rid of him, and I don't think they want to do that. As far as they know, they have zero plans of getting rid of them. What are those even for?
Well, it's part of the Rocky Mountain Power area, and they had facilities and.
I thought somebody said maybe a natural gas plant or.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they're attached to.
Yeah, it's like I didn't know anything about these smokestacks, and 90% of Utah had no clue about these smokestacks, but suddenly they're the most well-known smokestacks in the state of Utah, at least visually speaking.
Soon you think about Utah landmarks, the Arch,
the Arches,
the Salt Lake Temple, and the smokestacks.
Put that on a postcard. I saw the smokestacks. Jeez. That would be on a postcard because a view you do is from the baseball field, behind the home plate.
4781 gives the lyrics to the battle chant.
Yeah, so a lot of times Yeah, it could be tricky because sometimes you'll end up starting it at different points of the song. But yeah, it's like, here at the riot, the battle hymn's begun. We're here for RSL. And then sometimes you end up starting from this point. You say, so if you believe, then stand up on your feet and shout out loud, Real. Here at the riot, the battle hymn's begun. And it's a repeatable thing. That's why I say sometimes you kind of maybe sometimes you miss the first sentence and a half and you end up starting. So, but yeah, it's the thing that you'll repeat and you'll sing it for maybe like a minute and a half straight. At the beginning of the game and then after they score a goal, and it's fun. It's a great, like, you know, you look at the spectrum as far as, you know, a fight song, like to me, like, I don't know what the name of this RSL's fight song is, but
Battle Hymn.
Yeah, Battle Hymn. It's like as good, if not better, than the Scotsman. I know people around here might not like me saying that, but that is a banger of a song.
Pretty iconic.
It is.
For the franchise.
It's great.
Let's see, 6294. Smokestacks, awesome. Fireworks shooting out of those bad boys when home runs hit, awesome.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
That would be cool if they could.
They could get the effect of them shooting out of there.
Like shooting out something that looks like smoke.
Yeah, you could like attach it to the side. Shooting it from inside, that would be a bad idea. But.
Well, from the top. They go launch from the top. Yeah, that could be pretty cool. Make them look like giant sparklers or something. 9315 used to be part of Rocky Mountain Power coal power plant.
Okay.
Okay.
They used to be? Are they still?
I don't know if they're operational.
If they're not operational, get rid of them.
They're so big.
Well,
they're going to fall down and they're going to cause some damage.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to stand forever. 2305, make them light them up for different things, home runs, triple doubles, whatever. They could be 3 giant flagpoles. Yeah, okay. Giant flag on there. It'd be fun. 2409, Jason, as I've been defending you against distracting comments, but anyone who knows RSL fight song and doesn't follow baseball, I don't know how to defend that.
Those two, like, related? Like, I follow RSL. I'm just not a baseball fan at the moment. Like, I like baseball. I've been to baseball games. I've been to a couple MLB games. Been to a Cubs game, Dodgers game. I think one other. Or maybe it is just the Cubs and Dodgers. But.
All right, we got. So I put something out on Twitter earlier today. Wrong answers only for team names. So I got a lot of really interesting comments.
Okay.
For that.
Oh yeah. All right.
So we'll get into.
And I haven't seen this, so actually I think I'm gonna enjoy this.
So wrong names only. Of course, if you got some good names, we'll entertain those as well.
Keep them PG.
Yes, please do. Keep them safe. Interesting news about Stephen Ashworth and the transfer portal. He was interviewed by 24/7 Sports and had some interesting things to say about Utah State. I'll update you on that. Utah Jazz, Justin Zanuck and Danny Ainge had some end-of-season media availability today. An interesting piece put together by Chris Murray at the Nevada Sportsnet basically put together kind of I guess you call it a power poll, like which schools got the most bang for their buck.
Yeah,
based on their athletic budgets and wins that were produced.
Yeah, I think you call it a power ranking, but yeah, it's a weird because he uses an objective criteria as opposed to subjective, which power rankings can kind of be.
Yes. So where do the Aggies stand on that? We'll update you on that as well. It's all coming up here on the Full Court Press.
Here's Chad Norton, the lawn doctor, with a tip for your lawn.
It's that time of year again. As you look out at your lawn, you will see lots of matted down, dead-looking grass. It's most likely snow mold. Simply take a leaf rake and give it a good raking to fluff up that old grass. By doing this, the sun will bring it out of dormancy quicker.
For more helpful tips for your yard, go to the Lawn Doctor's Cache Valley Facebook page. To schedule lawn services, go to LawnDoctorCacheValley.com or call 753-LAWN.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
As a small business, achieving your financial goals and ambitions can be a steep and rocky mountain to climb. This is Brent Wallace of Cache Valley Bank. To conquer this mountain and achieve your goals, it takes planning, hard work, and discipline. At Cache Valley Bank, we have the resources, expertise, and flexibility to help you scale your way to success. Give us a call. Let's work together and climb the mountains that await. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
If you're a business, hiring always seems to be a concern now and in the future. Plan on attending the Cache Valley Media Group Job Fair Thursday, April 20th at Castle Manor in Hyde Park. Attending the job fair will give you the opportunity to meet with hundreds of potential employees looking for work or a career change. To participate in the job fair, call 752-1390. That's 752-1390 or
visit CacheValleyJobFair.com to register.
The Cache Valley Media Group Job Fair, Thursday, April 20th.
This is Nate Lamson with Valley Office Systems, your home team when local matters. Valley Office Systems is your local provider for all things office, copiers, printers, furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Cache Valley since 2007. Visit valleyofficesystems.com.
It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Eric Frandsen, Jason Walker. Yeah, if you've got a business and you need some more employees, Cache Valley Media Group Job Fair is coming up next week. There are still spaces available for your business to be there. And if you're looking for work or looking to improve your employment, make sure you put it on your calendar next Thursday at Castle Manor. So if you're a business looking to hire, go check out CacheValleyMediaGroup.com. More details available there. So this new, Salt Lake City is a group of people in Salt Lake are positioning themselves to attract a new Major League Baseball team to the state. To be clear, there are a few things of note here. As we were talking about this the other day, there are a couple other communities that are also vying for Major League Baseball to come to their place, whether that's a new franchise or a relocated existing franchise. Montreal, that's a place that used to have an MLB franchise.
Was that the
Expos?
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't 100% sure if it was the Expos. Like, am I thinking, is that the right sport? But,
Las Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas feels like... Well, let's go through the full list before I comment.
So Montreal, Las Vegas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Portland, Oregon. So all four of those have expressed interest in having a Major League Baseball team there. Now, there are two existing franchises that are squabbling with their communities about stadium deals. Oakland, the Oakland A's, and the Tampa Rays. For the Oakland situation, there was a deadline back in November or October that got missed about a new $12 billion proposed project to redo this whole harbor area that would include the baseball stadium, restaurants, mixed housing, a lot of things. Big major project. And in Tampa, I guess they announced plans for a new stadium, which would be near Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, still in the same general metropolitan area in the Tampa area, but they didn't say how it was going to be financed. So there's still questions for those two existing franchises. So there's a potential that they could move to one of these communities that are interested in having a Major League Baseball team, or there's a possibility of creating new franchises.
Yeah, we could probably wind up with, I think we're only going to wind up with two brand new franchises. That seems to be the predominant rumors that I've seen in a couple places, that they want two more teams. We could end up
going
with
from 30 to 32.
Yeah, we could end up with three new teams, but one of them would be one of the old teams moved somewhere else.
Yes.
And if, you're rooting for Salt Lake to get a team, you're probably really rooting for there to be that, 3 or 4, new teams, and Salt Lake is one of the expansion ones. Because if it's just 2 new teams and that's it, nobody moves, and it's just 2 expansion teams, Salt Lake is probably going to miss out. Because in terms of, priority, Salt Lake's probably 3rd on the list. They're probably in a fight to be maybe 2nd in priority, because I think Vegas is, everyone wants to be in Vegas. We've had this conversation before. Everyone and their dog wants to be in Vegas. And Vegas has been willing to bend over backwards to get to get teams there.
Right.
So they seem to be the, number one choice. There's not really a competitor for that first spot. So the question is Utah State just Utah, 2nd on that? A lot of people are saying Nashville is kind of there, and then Utah probably 3rd. I know people in Portland would disagree, but I think Salt Lake's probably got that 3rd spot comfortably. But it's just maybe Montreal, maybe, I don't know, 'cause since they already have a baseball team, but maybe, I don't know if that works for or against them.
Apparently Charlotte also. I missed Charlotte. Charlotte is also trying to they've made overtures that they'd like to get a franchise there too.
Yeah.
But here's some interesting things too. We talk about Vegas, but you look at what they call the designated market area. That's your general population that your city consists of. Not just the city itself, but all the communities that kind of draw into it and they're connected to it. So Salt Lake City is the 29th largest DMA, designated market area. Charlotte is 21st. Portland is 22nd. Nashville 27th. So all of those are ahead of Salt Lake. And this is interesting. They have Las Vegas at 40th, which I'm surprised. I thought Las Vegas was usually pretty close to Salt Lake. But they've got Las Vegas pretty far behind. And Vegas is an interesting destination because it can handle tourism and people from opposing teams coming there. The question about putting a team in Vegas is there really enough hometown support, or will it just be a visiting team paradise?
Yeah, and that was really the thing that's probably kept Vegas from getting a team for the longest time. But, you got the Golden Knights in there, then you got the Raiders in there, and I think they've done fairly well. I mean, they've done better than LA have when they put 2 football teams in there, and they can't get people to come to their games. So, I mean, LA was considered the picture-perfect destination, so much so that 2 different NFL teams made the move. And, Vegas has been able to support their professional teams much better.
Yeah, true.
So I think, and honestly, you could ask the same about Salt Lake. Not so much that, Vegas has the identity of being a tourist destination. People wonder, can Salt Lake support a team? I've wondered that. I don't think they could support an MLB team. But maybe they can. They're not, a super great, TV draw. But Jazz haven't necessarily been that. RSL hasn't necessarily been that. But those are 2 successful franchises historically.
Mm-hmm.
I know I was bagging on RSL last season and a half, but they've been a good team in the MLS for most of their history. A couple of championship game appearances and 1 title. The Jazz have been a consistent good team, even if the NBA media hates them.
Yeah, but something that was interesting that came out of the press conference today is that the Millers would be committed to keep the Bees. And they're already on a path to moving the Bees to a new development on the southwest area of Salt Lake County, which makes it easier for Utah County people to get to. And that'll also create a little bit more separation between this new Major League franchise that they would be creating. And apparently the other thing that's interesting of note is that there are about 4 or 5 Major League Baseball franchises who have their AAA affiliate really close, if not in the same town, but really close to the same city that their Major League affiliate is, so that if you need to call somebody up, they're right there, really quick and easy.
Yeah, I think the one counter argument to that I saw is that all of those teams are in much bigger areas. And I don't know how much franchises value having attendance at these minor league games, but attendance just going to tank. Like for a minor league team, it's just not going to be there.
Well, you'd have some different pricing options where your minor league team would have to be priced in a way that it doesn't compete with your major league team.
Yeah, but
and provides more opportunities to go see a game. If you have a large family, you don't have a big budget, you can't go to the big leagues, but you can still go to the minor leagues. See the up and comers.
I guess because
right now there's no other option, so they can price it a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, people don't go to a Bees game to see the up and comers. They go to a Bees game because they just want to go watch baseball.
To some degree, but I mean, they still want to see players who get sent down from assignment or maybe on their way up.
Well, that can happen. If somebody gets sent down, or if you're just really into and maybe some of that attendance can be offset from the fact that who around here really cares about any of the Bees players, because if they go somewhere, they're going to leave town. Maybe they'd be willing to look at them more because they'd be prospects for the local team. And I'm assuming that it will somehow be facilitated that the Bees would stop being an Angels affiliate and they'd become the new Salt Lake affiliate.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they'd have a mechanism to do that.
Yeah, they'd have to. 6391, I've heard of the smokestacks potentially being used to keep track of outs.
Just like when there's one out, you start have this, maybe like a
steam coming out of one of them.
Put coloring in there so it's and have steam. Like smoke would be bad, but you can put steam out and just have it go out, and then 2 outs, then 3, and then fireworks go off for the 3 outs.
There you go. Yeah, if there's a way to integrate the smokestacks into what's going on in the game, sure, that would be a lot of fun. But they're just there. Yeah, they're an eyesore. But if you can integrate them into the baseball experience, and really that would serve as people from all. They're so tall, you wouldn't have to be at the game to realize what's happening in the arena too. You could be downtown shopping or driving along I-15 and see what's going on with the stacks.
Yeah. It's like, there's 2 outs.
Oh, somebody just scored.
If you can get a cult following for those smokestacks and yells, then yeah, it could be really fun. The Kings have their little beam thing, light the beam, light the smokestacks.
2305. The Salt Lake Stadium picture online doesn't show a scoreboard. Maybe that's what the poles are for. Maybe.
They have like a video screen down kind of board, but it's just some random guy
tucked away on kind of like the south side of the upper deck.
So maybe would they try and put a scoreboard there, like in the middle there? Isn't that where a lot of stadiums put them, is like in the middle of center field? Scoreboard?
Yeah, some of them are a little bit off center. I don't know.
It's weird they don't have.
It wasn't a full rendering. It's just a mock-up.
Yeah, and they didn't seem to have like stands in the center of the outfield, which I think.
True. In the center of the outfield, they just had a grass.
Which
and they had double deckers going almost a full side, on both sides.
So a decent amount of stadiums in major leagues have all the way around.
To some degree, the center field, that's your worst seats because you're the furthest away from home plate.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Call timeout here in the Full Court Press. Wrong answers only about proposed names for this new Major League Baseball franchise coming to Salt Lake City. If you'd like to offer some as well, would love to get them. 435-339-0321.
This year, celebrate your anniversary with diamond jewelry from S.E. Needham Jewelers. Adorned in diamonds, she will feel elegant and cherished. Choose from a large selection of diamond bands, diamond pendants, and diamond earrings. Also, you'll enjoy a beautiful selection of diamonds mounted in rose gold. We price our diamond jewelry with an integrity price guarantee so that you can be assured the best possible value. With 12 months interest-free financing available. For the people and occasions that matter most. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat is locally owned and operated inside the beautiful new Three Peaks Medical Plaza in North Logan. Expect the most cutting-edge techniques, qualified doctors, and friendly staff to ensure the highest quality patient care. The ENT providers have extensive training to properly treat ear, nose, and throat conditions for adults and children. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat serves all of northern Utah and southern Idaho, accepting most insurance products including SelectMed. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for appointments and details. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, located in North Logan and Providence.
DD Auto and Salvage is going to pay you $400 for every junk vehicle. Your junk car is worth a guaranteed $400. DD Auto and Salvage will pick up your junk vehicle for free and pay you $400. Clean up the farm, haul away the truck, and get big bucks today. Call DD Auto and Salvage at 787-1204.
That's 787-1204.
Or pick up of your junk vehicles today. Every vehicle's worth $400. DD Auto and Salvage. Call 787-1204. See store for details.
Spring has sprung, and so have the deals at Murdoch Chevrolet.
Ready for a season of adventure? Get behind the wheel of a brand new car during our spring sales event.
Right now, receive 0% for 4 years on a 2023 Silverado.
When you walk through our doors, you feel like family.
At Murdoch Chevrolet in Logan and Woods Cross or online at murdochchev.com.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Call 866-628-3065 or see dealer for complete details. Offer expires 5/1/23.
The Aggies, Jazz, high schools, even the Pee Wees T-ball team. It's the Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
Wrong answers only. What would be the best new name for the newest Major League Baseball franchise if it were to come to Salt Lake City, as the Larry H. Miller Group is trying to make happen as they announced it officially today? So I got it started. I just to kind of salt the mine a little bit. Couple ideas. Utah National Parks. Salt Lake Crown Burgers.
Jeez.
Salt Lake Tab Cats. Salt Lake Templars.
There you go, the Templars.
Let's see. I had one other one that I threw out there. No, I can't remember what it is. Anyway, I'll go through some of those that were sent in.
How many of these wrong answers only involve polygamy somehow?
I didn't get any that I saw. Let's see. Salt Lake City Fry Sauce. Salt City Shakers. Salt Lake Cougars, not the animal.
You gotta specify that. Instead of a cougar, it's like a silhouette of a
middle-aged woman.
Yeah.
Salt Lake Stacks. Somebody suggested Fry Saucers. Utah MLMs.
Only if they're based in Provo.
Yeah, there you go. It's got to be Utah County based. Salt Lake Beasts. Salt Lake Sandlot. Maybe the L7 Weenies. I don't get that reference. Utah Swingers. Or Salt Lake Swingers. Salt Lake Squints, reference to the Sandlot. Brine Shrimp or Bear Lake Monsters. The Utah DBs, in parentheses, Dylan Brooks. Salt Lake Essential Oils. Utah Funeral Potatoes.
There you go.
Let's see. MLMs, Essential Oilers, Unicorns, Sub-Zeros, Countrymen.
Essential Oilers would just be hilarious just because it plays off of the old Houston Oilers.
Yes, that's right.
That one's just even better than just Essential Oils. The Essential Oilers. Thank you very much. See if you can make a play off the old Oilers logo. Enough that you don't get sued by the Titans.
Yeah, that's true. Two more. Salt Lake 47ers.
That one actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Although I feel like we've kind of moved on from the naming teams after years trend that was a lot more popular in the mid-20th century.
Right.
20th century.
Or the Pfeffercorns. Again, a Sandlot reference.
Oh, I've seen Sandlot like once. It took me a lot longer to watch Sandlot than it probably should have. But it wasn't one of the movies that we owned growing up for some reason. But now I have watched it.
That's good that you have seen it.
Yeah,
You've righted that wrong.
It's like it's gonna be like required viewing for all Salt Lake baseball fans.
We got a couple on the text line, 2305, Salt Gulls or 47ers.
Yeah, 40. I might actually be able to get behind 47ers.
9315, the Cuban 3-cigar smokestackers. Okay. 4474, Salt Lake Paligs.
Just
Salt Lake Paligs.
Oh, yeah, that would be interesting. Get that across the desk of Rob Manfred. Excuse me, what? You're going to call your team what? Nope.
Is this a shape?
So what shape is? How many sides does this shape have?
Yeah, I mean, look, the designs look interesting. Access wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, from what I've seen, like as far as the location, I know one person said that or a couple of people said they thought it was really good just because there's some already built-in infrastructure. Public transit, that's a big thing. Because when you're having a professional team, you know, one of the biggest concerns as far as placement is just like, can you get there? Can you get out of there when there's 10,000 plus people, 10 to 20,000 people trying to get out at the same time? And public transit's a huge part of that. Can you just park somewhere far away and take the tracks in there?
Because it's right off of North Temple.
Yeah. So if you can have that, then it becomes so much better because you have places like, other stadiums where parking is this horrible disaster. So much of a disaster that people are coming up with incredibly convoluted ways to get around it. But this location seems to be all right.
If you want more details about how it looks or what they're proposing, you can go to bigleagueutah.com.
Blue.
bigleagueutah.com. So that's gives more of the details of what they have in mind. See the concept drawings that they have. They even list Utah is a 5-tool player, 5 reasons. Anyway, interesting stuff there is available if you want to see it. More about who's involved with the coalition from business, political, sports, entertainment. So a lot of more details there if you're interested. You want to go check it out. But, if you I'd still be interested in your name ideas, your name concepts for this new team. 9315, Zach Wilson's Mom Home Runners.
Now we're just going back to Cougars.
That's right.
But the other kind.
2305, Crossroads. Okay, Salt Lake is known as the Crossroads of the West. I don't know what that logo looks like, or your mascot.
Just a Switzerland flag?
Maybe.
Logo, it would just be like it'd be a artistic, just a literally a crossroads, but I don't know, it'd be dirt roads or just, old pioneer type roads, trails, crossing each other with like a sun in the back,
2197 says the green Jello socks. Because we have the Red Sox.
It's
the White Sox.
It's the Jello socks.
The Jello sock. Green Jello socks.
Stick with 47ers or the Pioneers. There was one name I saw as the Trappers, but there's already somebody called the Trappers. There's a team in like one of the Dakotas.
Well, there used to be a minor league team in Salt Lake as the Trappers.
Yeah.
2305 Wagoners.
See, I wouldn't have minded if they just took the Bees name and turned that into the major league, branding. But I don't think, because I think it's a pretty solid name.
47ers doesn't really roll off the tongue.
No. I mean, well, it doesn't roll off the tongue because you don't think it does. The 76ers roll off the tongue? There's more syllables than 76er.
It's true.
I mean, you can say sixer. You
say
sevener, niners, sixer into sevener, niner. 49er, 47er.
Yeah, the Niners, the Sixers.
It's just you're not used to it.
0366 just tuned in. What's the new stadium for? Yeah,
baseball.
Trying to get a Major League Baseball team in Salt Lake. Larry H. Miller Group, Dale Murphy, several others involved in creating a coalition trying to bring a Major League Baseball team to the state of Utah. A couple other proposed names. Folks are sending in 2305 Seagulls. I've seen that one a lot.
See, if you're gonna do animals, there's two animals that are iconic with Utah. And that's seagulls and bees, or wasps, whatever. Like those are the two. We're already using one of those. So that's to say you could maybe use the bees for.
Call them the Hive.
I guess. I'd make it one of those teams.
Keep the bees. They keep their name. Because they already have their logos. They already have their look.
So when they get called up, they're coming to the Hive?
Yeah, that's right.
It'd be another one of those teams.
If Gail Miller's involved, that's your queen bee right there.
You'd have another team where the mascot doesn't end with an S.
Or a double Z.
I said there's only like 6 or 7 professional teams in America that don't have like their mascot end with an S. The Jazz are one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's a handful of others. I can only think of like the Orlando Magic. That's the only other one I can think of off the top of my head. But you'd have another one.
Yeah. All right, we got to take another time out. We got some more nominations coming in. We'll read those. Next hour, we'll get into some of the comments made today from Justin Zanuck, speaking of the Jazz. Stephen Ashworth quoted today talking about the teams that he's looking at and his thoughts about Utah State. And how do the Utah State Aggies do in getting the most bang for their buck? Wins versus investment in athletics. We'll discuss all that coming up on the Full Court Press.
Rely now on a York Affinity Premium Comfort System to keep your home cool and comfortable. The new Affinity systems are smarter and more connected and more efficient than ever before. And you can cut your energy costs by as much as 50%. Call Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York dealer, to schedule a free system evaluation. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning showroom is west of DI and online at advancedheating-ac.com.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
Copiers, printers, service, and supplies are just the beginning. Les Olson IT is the premier source for your business's structured cabling, IT, software, telephones, and security systems. We partner with you to find the ideal solution to all of your office technology needs. Tell us your goals and we'll get you there. Find out more at lesolson.com.
Les Olson IT.
When it comes to your eyeglasses, a discount shop may not be your best answer. Do you really want to look like everyone else? Crystal Vision, a Best of Northern Utah 2-time gold medalist, curates brands that are made in smaller batches, not mass-produced. Crystal Vision's glasses are made from the highest quality materials and components and feature interesting styles and color combinations, rather than buying mass, cheap-produced frames overseas. Your glasses will feel like they were made for you. Crystal Vision, online at crystalvision.com.
If you've been with the same insurance company for many years, you're probably experiencing rate creep. Hi, this is Matt Robbins with Quality First Insurance. What is rate creep? This is where your rates increase every year, but your agent doesn't have any other options for you. Auto Owners Insurance and Quality First will give you options. Quality First Insurance, 752-0101, right in front of Fisher Home Furnishings. For more information, go to q1ins.com.
They never could play it, but they sure can talk about it. Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker on the Full Court Press.
Our friends at Napa Auto Parts sponsor the Dan Patrick Above the Noise segment. And if you need a new battery or you need some new wiper blades, the great folks at Napa Auto Parts will make sure you get the right size, the right power output for the battery that you need. Even help you install it if you need the help. And if you need even more work than that done, they can recommend a few Napa Auto Care Centers with ASE certified technicians. Go check it out. There's 5 different locations for Napa Auto Parts between Preston and Providence. A couple other recommendations, nominations coming in for proposed team names. Some good, some not great. Wrong answers only on some of these.
Yeah, some of them they're supposed to be bad.
Some are trying to be good. 9315, Honey Badgers with the playoff at the Bees baseball team. Okay. 3486, Utah Yeti or Salt Lake City Sasquatch, although those would be better for a hockey team.
Yeah, Yeti would be the hockey team.
2305, just call them the Millers. 2197, Salt Lake Stingers. Okay.
Yeah, you could. There's some alliteration you can do with Salt Lake.
8968, please not the Cougars for the baseball team. There's too many Cougars as it is.
The thing is, there's not really ever going to be, because, everyone only ever reuses the same, 30 different mascots, and I should know because I once listed all of the college mascots for every team. There's a ton of overlap. But Cougars is one they're never going to have any new ones because somebody says Cougars and everyone's like, no. Because there's a new affiliation for that word.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can't do it anymore. Just like you can't do Dixie or Rebel.
5253, since we have the Jazz, the Utah Symphony would be the only way to bring continuity to Utah sports.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. After bringing Argentina its first World Cup since Diego Maradona led the team to the title in 1986, Lionel Messi became the most talked-about player in all of soccer. Despite his historic career, Father Time is undefeated. The star forward is now 35, and his club, PSG, has recently expressed concerns over his ability to show up in the Champions League matches. In fact, the club has so much concern the team reportedly asked the star to take a 25% pay cut. Still, a lot of time for the two parties to make good on that salary disagreement. But after receiving a fair amount of criticism from fans over the last two matches, a departure could soon become a possibility. And with a potential offer from Major League Soccer on the horizon, the salary disagreement could leave us one step closer to one of the greatest players taking his talents to the United States. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.